Adolf Hitler decided to start looting art in 1937 for two particular exhibitions. In essence, these two exhibitions were used to try and influence the public and to curate culture.
This image might appear to be an innocuous photo featured in a real estate listing. The reality, however, is that this photo could be the key to solving an 80-year-old mystery of a missing piece of art stolen by the Nazis during World War II. Portrait of a Lady, a 1743 work by Italian painter Giuseppe Ghislandi, was spotted in the listing hanging over a couch in the living room of a home being sold in Argentina, where the owner's father, Frederick Cadgin, a World War II SS officer, had fled to South America after World War II.
So an artwork by an artist like Giuseppe Ghislandi, even though he's not a household name, he's been known to sell works for up to €350,000 or about 625,000 Australian dollars. However, because this work has received some international notoriety recently due to the fact that it was stolen by the Nazis, it could be sold for upwards of €500,000 or about 900,000 Australian dollars.
It is among art listed in the Dutch government's official list of works stolen by Nazis during the war, and experts from the Cultural History Agency of the Netherlands are convinced the property listing is showing the real thing, stating, "There is no reason to think of why this could be a copy."
Well, I believe this is an authentic work by Ghislandi because it's very much of his oeuvre, but also because Ghislandi wasn't the type of artist that was readily copied like Rembrandt and Vermeer during or after his lifetime, but also because there is a direct provenance line back to 1940 when this particular work was looted.
In a bid to seize the painting, investigators in Argentina raced to the home of Cadgin's daughter, Patricia, in the seaside town of Mar del Plata, near Buenos Aires, only to find the painting in question replaced with a tapestry.
We had indications that the painting might be found in this property. The painting was not in this house, but some documentation related to period engravings and drawings was seized that could provide some context.
When contacted about the painting, Miss Cadgin and her partner was quoted to say, "I don't know what information you want from me, and I don't know what painting you're talking about either."
When the sun rose on that fateful day, the Nazis invaded the Netherlands. Without warning or the slightest provocation, they unleashed upon their innocent neighbor the full terror and fury of a devastating blitzkrieg.
During World War II, Portrait of a Lady was among hundreds owned by Dutch art dealer Jacques Gustiger, who had helped other Jews flee mainland Europe during the war when the Nazis occupied the Netherlands. Gustiger's collection of approximately 1,100 artworks was seized or brought under duress by the Nazis. Gustiger himself died fleeing the war in 1940. Portrait of a Lady then reportedly made its way into the family of Frederick Cadgin, one of the top aides and financial advisors of one of the most powerful figures in the Nazi Party, Hermann Goering. Cadgin reportedly helped fund the Nazi war effort by robbing art and jewelry from Jewish collectors in Europe. Before fleeing to Argentina, where he died in 1978, Cadgin was briefly detained in Switzerland by Allied officials, whom he convinced was not a Nazi. According to CIA documents, the Americans described Cadgin as a snake of the lowest kind, with large assets that could be of use.
Gib du jetzt deine Stimme ab. Wenn ja, dann tritt für mich ein, so wie ich für dich eingetreten bin.
Democracy is destroyed. The dictator is a demigod who can do no wrong. Propaganda dominates the nation's mind. Nazi Germany faces her destiny with one of the great war machines in history.
During the war, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi regime seized an estimated 1/5 of all art in Europe at approximately 650,000 pieces before 1945.
So Adolf Hitler decided to start looting art in 1937 for two particular exhibitions. One was known as the Great German Art Exhibition, and the other one was known as the Entartätekunst Exhibition of Degenerate Art. Now, each exhibition, one was dedicated to art that was authorised by the Third Reich, and the Entartätekunst exhibition was dedicated to modern artworks which Hitler despised and sought to destroy. So in essence, these two exhibitions were used to try and influence the public and to curate culture. But this particular painting was likely looted because it was in preparation for Hitler's major project of building a Führer museum in his hometown of Linz in Austria. And artworks were stolen from all throughout Europe in order to bring them to the gallery for display to show the public. Now, this particular work probably didn't make the cut for the museum, and hence why it was sold in 1944.
In a mountain cave near Berchtesgaden, Goering's secret treasure trove was located by American soldiers. In this Aladdin's cave of stolen art treasures, everything that glitters is gold.
Since the end of World War II, there has been a concerted effort to reclaim any stolen art and cultural objects and return them to their rightful owners, most notably with the Monuments, Fine Arts and Archive program, which saw the return of thousands of artworks saved from theft or destruction between 1943 and 1946.
So when World War II ended, these artworks had to be located, if they were still in existence, and repatriated to the original owners. Now, the only problem was that a lot of these Jewish owners who had originally had these works looted from their collections had died during the Holocaust. And so there were collectives such as monuments men who had to organise these works in a place such as the Jour de Paume, where they could try and find out the living relatives of these owners who had passed away during the Holocaust. Since the end of the war, there's been a concerted effort to locate these artworks and to organise them into a lost art database. So anyone around the world, if these artworks pop up in an auction room or in an op shop, they can refer to this lost art database to see if these works can be repatriated. Now, there's organisations such as Lost Art Restitution Project that are leading this search, and that has led on to particular major artworks being found, such as the portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer by Gustav Klimt and the portrait of Wally Neutzel by Egon Schiele, and most notably the discovery of the collection of Nazi art dealer Hildebrand Gerlit in 2012 in Munich, where there was the discovery of 1,600 lost works.
Investigators have recovered more than 200 pieces of art from Gustig's collection in the early 2000s, but many, like Portrait of a Lady, have remained missing and are included on the international list of lost art and the official Dutch list of artwork looted by the Nazis. An heir of Gustica in her 80s, Marie von Seyer, says she now plans to file a claim and launch legal action to have the painting returned to her family. My search for the artworks owned by my father-in-law, Jacques Gustica, started at the end of the 90s, and I won't give up. My family aims to bring back every single artwork robbed from Jacques' collection and restore his legacy.
So if this portrait by Ghislandi is ultimately located, there will be individuals who will be charged. Now, it doesn't matter if you stole the work, you'll be prosecuted for harbouring stolen items. Now, it doesn't matter if it happens today or tomorrow. There's no statute of limitations for artworks being stolen during World War II.